to the Dardanelles with their rifles and their bayonets bright, facing danger gladly where they're needed badly. That's where they are tonight.
Ant pissers or sparrow barks out there, we need to know about it fast. What do you think?
Jesus Christ!
I didn't ask for prayers.
I need tools.
One good gun, that's all we want.
Tomorrow we walk on water. You can use my special pocket knife, Mac.
Wellington has taken Chunuk Bair. New Zealand is holding Chunuk Bair. Give me that thing, I'll tell him myself.
Oh, you can't, sir.
Can't?
Line's dead.
How you doing? You alright?
I'm just taking them off. I mean, that fits me, but I don't know if Smiler would have a catch.
Cool. It's actually a saw. I found this on the ground. I took this belt off.
Other way.
What?
This.
Alright, so you're going to be Turkish. Have a go.
At least it wouldn't bounce.
No, listen. It's got to come from here, because it's got to have the... kind of arc.
You can't do Connolly in your sandals, Ralph.
Oh, go on, you do really.
Who wants to do it? Bare feet.
Hey guys, grenade coming over, mind your heads!
Yes.
We could approach them and ask for a second.
We've had this conversation. Yes.
I mean, this play is in some part responsible for the rejuvenation of the commemorations of Anzac Day, for instance. It focused the attention of New Zealand back on to the First World War and to the terrible loss that was borne by New Zealand, as was any country involved in that terrible conflict. I think it's very hard for young people. It's very hard for me, who's also never fought in a war, to really understand what it must be like to be in those situations. So I think Shadbolt does a very good job of exposing all human emotions. So the character that seems to be the most jokey is also the character that breaks down the most.
That's why you never pick winners at Trentham, Smiley. I'll give you a dead cert for the day, mate. A proper bloody guru called Chunuk Bair. Shortest dodge you ever saw. You don't get nothing back. Nothing. Nothing. Jesus, poor kid.
Shut that man up. Shut him up, I'll stick a bait in him.
Porky, you can't do this to us, mate.
You're trying to honour what the writers got, and therefore there isn't much scope for romanticising it. But at one point in the play, as you know, they all go over the top, and that's the one time where that classic image of soldiers going over the top is held in silhouette, and that's a very romantic image. I think you need it at one point where you actually get a sense of of not the glory. I know you said glory. It's very difficult to find the right word, but in fact, if you think, every commemoration of it, even though you'd say the commemoration is for the human souls that are lost, there is an innate romanticism which I don't think you can get rid of. Yeah. Something about horror coming through horror, there is still, but it's got to be subliminal.
Still nothing. Sometimes there seems to be someone.
Someone?
Very weakly.
I presume history is hard of hearing, the shout.
I have.
I think he's the symbol of old New Zealand.
Magnificent, sir. One can even imagine Xerxes building his bridge of boats to march his Persians out of Asia, sir.
His what?
His Persian warriors out of Asia to attack the Greeks.
So he's a symbol of the old country, of the original attitude towards being a New Zealander is in the play. So you see him change from being essentially an Englishman living in New Zealand to being a New Zealander by the end of the play.
Who needs a hatred like me?
I understand now, sir.
Russ. They're yours, Harkness. Mine, yours.
Ready, Sergeant?
There's a little bloody mate.
Phalanx! All together! Always!
I think there's a more refined way of speaking that sort of some of our ancestors in New Zealand might have had. Growing up in an English school, we went to Christ College, but this is Christ College at the turn of the century, which would be more English than English, I'd imagine.
Your country, damn it, Harkness. Love it?
Of course, sir. One does.
One does.
Well, the truth is, sir, I haven't thought about it too much. School, you see, then university, my father's office. I would have been off home for a bit this year, but for the war.
Oh?
Britain, sir.
Pity.
Yes, sir. I should have liked to have seen the old country.
I mean, pity you don't know your own.
I guess it's that sort of English public schoolboy thing too, of good posture, stiff upper lip, shoulders back, chin up.
Beg leave to take appropriate action, sir.
He's also a sort of symbol of the officer class in World War I, which was particularly decimated during the time because they just went in there gung-ho, led from the front, hurrah, over the top boys, and ended up getting they had a life expectancy of a week or to 2 weeks or something like that on the front.
Priding myself, my lieutenants lived longer than the 5-day wonders of other units.
Well, he's going to fuck your figures.
Initially, at the start of the play, my character is trying to see the Dardanelles, and he slips and he puts a hand out to help me up, and I refuse it.
Yeah.
So that's not, I lose face to a private when I'm a lieutenant.
When I'm quiet in a considered view of the terrain private, I shall ask for it.
Yeah.
So I just want to make that line clear that I'm an officer.
Find out whether it could be a stick grenade like the Germans had.
1920 from the Middle East. It took a year to get back.
Yeah, William Malone. He was a colonel in the New Zealand Army in World War I at Gallipoli. And he was the one that Connolly is based on, and he actually, Malone did what Connolly did and died as Connolly died.
Token show. Typical. No Turks in sight. Now there it goes. The flash. There's Shelburne.
It's much more controlled than I am. I'm much looser and more laid back and loose, whereas Connolly's very much always on the alert, always, you know, watching, but always thinking, very certain, very clear, very knows, you know. And when he's not clear, he's always searching for the right thing, you know. Yeah, he's much harder man than I am. Shadbolt, the playwright, is using Connolly as a mouthpiece for certain ideas about New Zealand and about New Zealandness and about how colonials became New Zealanders. Like Malone, Connolly is a bit of a martinet. He's quite strict.
So I'm not just rather possessive, Harkness, I'm bloody possessive, understand?
I shall try, sir.
You'd better. Yes, sir. They have earned today's outing. Before we got to Gallipoli, I gave them hell. The longest route marches, the toughest punishment, hell, no mercy ever.
His job is to keep the morale up, keep people's hearts up, keep his own heart up.
Today, you make sure those mates are remembered. Today you give them Chunuk Bair. Yes, I know on an August weekend we'd all much rather be watching the Wellington team hang on to the Ranfurly Shield. And MacDonald there would be heaving his heart out in the middle of the Wellington scrum. That right, MacDonald?
I'd be trying.
He's described at one point as the big bloke from Wellington who played rugby for Wellington, who the ref always sent off.
You're gonna shut up or be bloody bashed!
His view of the war is as if it's a team event. So his relationships in the war are coloured by that, I think.
I reckon we should give it a go. Give what a go? The machine gun post. Jesus. Who let you look? Oh, come on, we'd piss it. We could give them the heave-ho before the others come.
He sees Frank as kind of the captain of the team, so... So, as you can tell, I've got a blind side.
What have you got there?
Pips. Insignia kernels for the use of. Which I will do to you.
He's the communications guy in divisional signals.
Who the hell are you?
Corporal Bassett, Cyril Bassett, divisional signals.
I thought it was impossible to get up here.
Oh, that is, sir. Feeling.
And he's bringing up this big telephone box and a coil of wire all the way up and down this hill, and he does it during the play maybe 6 or 7 times. I'm quite lazy, and I feel Corporal Bassett really is not lazy at all. So I'm trying to pull that through my physicality, trying to be doing something all the time, like me and Martin and I discussed, doing something all the time, always working on the phone, always doing something to be helpful, never just sitting around having a smoke, never sitting around drinking. He's always doing his job.
He's trying to work things out for himself. He's a man in an extraordinary set of circumstances, like all of the men are in this play.
You ought to be happy as a pig in shit up here. No other bugger's been up this high. Can we all go back to Merry Maori land now?
Porky is probably as part of the humour of the play. A lot of his humour is black humour.
Hey, Nobby, what'd you join up for? Nobby joined up to see the world. He's getting a bloody grand tour of the next one.
The character of Porky, you know, when Porky, when they're talking about and having that sort of romantic sort of reminisce about back home and oysters and mullets and Palace Bay and kidnappers and that sort of stuff, and then he sort of chimes in with, you know, you're all off your saucer.
You're all off your saucer. It's like the biggest shithole you've ever seen.
It's not a humorous line from Porky, it's undercutting, and that sort of fits with his character, but that's him sort of dealing with it and coming to terms with the situation. He is a bastard.
I preferred you when you were Bible bashing. You wouldn't say shit even if your mouth was full of it.
But he's one of those good bastards.
Yeah.
And that's where he fits into Shadbolt's sort of, you know, trying to get a retinue of New Zealand characters on stage and to represent New Zealand. Vocal sort of stuff, I'm not going down that Fred Dagg line, but giving it more of a New Zealand sort of sound as opposed to Connolly and Harkness, who are both New Zealanders, but of a different set.
Why are you running, my good man? They shout. The big Dunedin bloke shouts, because I can't fucking fly.
The text has to speak, so it's not trying to layer too much on top of the text initially. letting the text find its voice within me. With a play like this, the audience is going to come along with their own understandings and expectations of what this is and what it represents. And so they will already come along with, you know, maybe a third of the character within themselves.
Yeah.
And so there's no need for me to, makes my job easier if I don't have to spoon feed them too much, you know, and they can make the rest up themselves.
Yeah. You want to be able to use your right hand too, because it's an ammo belt.
Oh, right.
You need to be able to use your right hand to get the shells out.
Cool. All right, like a Mexican bandit.
He's there because his brother joined up, and he joined up to look after his brother.
Oi! Where did you go?
You've got to let me grow up.
What do you think I've been trying to do?
Sergeant, leave the boy. He's won.
Because he knows the war's going to be a shit fight. As far as he's concerned, the war's got very little to do with the working man. He's an absolute dyed-in-the-wall socialist. You'd probably say communist.
Wouldn't surprise me if you flew the red flag back home.
Then you got no surprise coming. Particularly the first time I read it, it seemed a little naive politically, perhaps.
Yeah.
But it's easy to forget that, you know, in 1915 the Russian Revolution hadn't even happened yet.
There was somebody at Hagley that would like to.
Do you want to do that?
Spectacles off, mate. I'm not ready.
Scruffy's not the sharpest knife in the drawer. He's quite a he's a simple lad.
Christ! Oh, someone shat!
And I kind of see him a bit like a dog. Like he kind of follows Mac around in a kind of a dogged way, a little bit wide-eyed and kind of waiting for the next thing to do.
Mac, what's going on?
So you want to know something? I wouldn't mind. The British are leaving us here.
They wouldn't do that to us, would they, Mac?
For me, he's a bit like the character of, say, the tramp that Charlie Chaplin created. He's kind of an everyman. He's, you know, we all like to think of ourselves as smart and capable, but we're all a little bit dumb and a little bit clumsy and a little bit foolish. And I think that for me, Scruffy is kind of that, embodies that slightly, the lovable fool in a way. He's unaware of things going on around him. He's always asking the wrong questions and doing the wrong things.
Mac?
Tell your bloody brain.
Oh, just something I've been meaning to ask.
Ask? I mean, where are we?
And he does come up with the only miracle of Chunuk Bair, which is fixing the gun, which he says he can do, but no one believes him.
I've bloody done it! Done what? Got one together, one gun. My hand, my bloody hand!
Jesus, save me for Sunday.
What?
You bloody hands! Hands, you won't drag it, scum!
I told you, Mac, I told you!
The New Zealand ethos is about that. It's about everyone has a certain worth. Everyone has value, you know? Doesn't matter where you came from, how much money you have, where you were born, what your training is or your education. Everyone has worth and value in our society.
I think the key message is that war is a terrible tragedy.
Chunuk Bair has been held forever. Forever. Last man's message. Rot in hell. Fuck your war. Fuck you all. Forever.